Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to the Future of HR and Management Sneak Peek panel discussion. My name is Nauris, and I will be the moderator of this today's panel discussion, and of course of the Future of HR and Management upcoming event that we will have over here in Latvia stream all around the world. Nevertheless, I welcome with a warm up panel discussion on, I think, one of the hottest topics in the HR today, and it's of course artificial intelligence. So we're just few days away from the future of HR 2025, and what better way to set a stage than by diving into how AI is transforming the way we work, hire, train, and actually engage with our employees. So today we have an incredible lineup with the Future of HR and Management Conference speakers and experts with us today. And each will bring a unique perspective on AI's role in HR. And over the next 70 minutes, we'll explore how AI is shaping HR today and the biggest challenges companies face, how it impacts employee experience, and where this technology is headed in the next 5 to 10 years, and maybe who knows, even further in the future. We already had a laugh before this event about Skynet and Terminator's scenario, but hey, we'll see. And of course, we want to hear from you guys. So drop your thoughts, your comments, your perspective, your questions, everything that you want to add to this panel discussion, because our goal today is to actually understand how AI can help us as a managers, as a lead managers, as the company owners, and actually in our strategic ways and how to achieve our business goals through strategic HR, and also we dive in a little bit into the future. So all right, let's I think get it started. And first up, I want to introduce you guys with Jean Mauris from Avokaado. So hi, Jean. Jean here is to shed the light on AI's impact on legal compliance and contract management. I also want to introduce our next panelist, Bogdan from Mirro, is a go-to expert on AI-driven employee performance and engagement. And Agu from Coursy, who actually knows all about how AI is revolutionizing learning and development. So, gents, it's really nice to see you here today.
Good morning, everyone. Awesome to be here.
Yeah. Let's talk in order, right? Morning, in an orderly fashion.
Okay, John. Maybe you give a little bit about yourself, a little background for a couple of minutes, so we can understand.
Thank you, Nauris, and good morning, everyone. Great to be among such great speakers on this very, let's say, topic that's super hot for everyone. So I'm Jean Mauris. I'm co-founder and head of product at Avokaado, and my background is in digital transformation. So kind of I lead through the different stages of many companies doing the digital transformation. And at Avokaado, we are helping to leapfrog basically from old way of doing businesses into new ways of doing businesses in terms of like documents, processes, compliance, and all the related things that are quite heavy, especially in HR.
Awesome. Thank you, John and Bogdan. Your words
Yeah,
from your
hi.
side.
I'm Bogdan from Mirro. I am, as Jean Mauris is, I'm the co-founder and head of product here at Mirro. And I don't know if that happens to you, to everyone in tech. It seems like things are progressing so fast nowadays that you're always like trying to think about the new AI tool to implement in your product. And sometimes we need a breather and we need to kind of analyze what impact does it provide, and go from there. I'm quite jealous of Jean because they have a very nice and very adapted type of AI implementation as of now. And I'm kind of jealous of Agu as well, because there's a lot of need of reskilling in terms of handling what's up with the future. At Mirro, we are a platform that handles hire to retire experience, so it's a bit more messy, and it takes some time to put AI into everything and understand where it goes. Thanks for having me.
Super. Thank you, Bogdan. And Agu, yeah.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Agu. I'm founder and CEO of Coursy. Coursy is a learning system helping companies to deliver results, to get results through learning. And my background is mainly on management, and I've been in C-level roles since the beginning. But I'm also a practitioner in terms of training, because I've been doing management training assignments over the last 16 years. So practitioner and in management, practitioner in training. But now, of course, I'm an entrepreneur with Coursy, and we really have a big dream to link learning with performance in organizations, and I think AI is a good tool to help us do that.
Super. Thanks for the intro, guys. So as we can see, today's panel is actually really professional and have multiple years of experience behind their backs in entrepreneurship and tech, and also in the HR. So let's open our today's discussion. And as we know that the artificial intelligence is coming more intensively, like a snowball effect, into our everyday lives, and also in our organizational and business lives. So let's start with our first, like the panel discussions. First discussion and is about the current landscape of artificial intelligence in HR. Before I give a word to Jean as a first speaker, I want to remind that everyone who's watching us live can sneak into our conversation and ask some questions or leave their experience. So yeah, Jean, how do you see AI currently shaping the legal and administrative aspects of HR, such as contract management and compliance?
Yeah, I think definitely. I encourage everyone on right now. Definitely ask questions, guys. We would love to have this both way street, so to speak. But from my perspective, I would like to start maybe from what Bogdan mentioned briefly, because it's very important. He mentioned the word impact, right? And also like the idea about fear of missing out. Everything moves so fast that everybody right now has a fear of missing out. Okay, I'll miss out something. Tomorrow's new thing will appear, new DeepSeek or whatever will appear tomorrow, and we're all kind of left behind. So I suggest really to calm down here and to think from any technology from a perspective, I call it like vitamin versus painkiller, right? So every single technology is built for a specific purpose. And AI has its purpose. Yes, we can build AI in different shapes and forms, etc. But the idea about this large language model, ChatGPT, whatever we call it, it's kind of pretty much the same everywhere. And when it works, when it solves the problem it's supposed to solve, and it's supposed to solve a problem of unstructured information, going through things that you can't go as a human being that fast, etc. When you try to use it as a vitamin, you will have fun, but you won't have any business impact. If you try to use it as a painkiller, you actually identify the pain, then you will be able to use it. And that's, I believe, where every single idea of, okay, let's use AI should start. We are not starting with, okay, we now know AI can process legal documents. Let's go and process all the legal documents or automate workflows for employment or termination or whatever. It doesn't make sense because you might not have any bottleneck over there, right? You might deal with that like perfectly fine with some simple rule-based automation that can help you go through the process, and there is no AI involved, and you are kind of perfectly fine with that. But when things come to some unstructured data, to large volumes processing, that's where you might have a bottleneck, right? And that's the biggest issue right now with the whole landscape of so many AI tools. The majority of them are vitamins. And I kind of can say that majority of them are real vitamins. Nice to have, yeah, good to play around, good to kind of use it, fun to share with a friend on the conference, see how cool tool I have, like see what it can do. But at the end of the day, it doesn't bring any value. So that's one thing that I believe shaping the whole story around that. And then another thing that I would like to mention is like complete lack of transparency. So no one knows how those tools actually work. And I believe we'll talk further about many things regarding that, but it's I believe, an umbrella thing around that. So what happens inside this like big black box? Is the cat alive or is the cat dead there, right? So what's the point there? So that would be my take on the landscape. It's very vibrant, but kind of don't jump on every single new thing. Take your time, find a bottleneck, see if the tool fits the bottleneck, and then kind of trying to figure out how transparent this tool can be so you're still compliant and all of that stuff. So that would be my like start for the whole conversation.
With a great analogy, find the pain, find the medicine, and hopefully the medicine will help. But that's not a 100% chance, you know. So thank you for your insights. Yeah. Okay, Bogdan, what's your insight on improving employee performance management today with the help of AI, and what role does it play?
Yeah, I'm totally on board with Jean here. We're just getting started with AI, right? I mean, countless people haven't lost their nights into crunching those neural networks, you know, and making their models better. And countless other people haven't spent their bank's money in order to finance these things just for us to write better emails. Okay, that's not what AI is. We're not here to create a bit of a better, not authentic type of content, right? This is just the beginning. We need to realize how big this change is, right? Because this is not like a trend that's coming and going. It's something like a little industrial revolution, like the web was, and here we are talking to each other from different ways around the world. And we need to figure it out without panicking, right? We'll have our time to understand what it does. In terms of performance management, I've told you like at the beginning of the year, and I don't think it hasn't changed, because like classical and yesteryear's performance management was benchmarking people against the same grain, the same things, right, all the time. And we need to realize that if everyone in your company can do these things repeatedly, the same things in the same way, an AI agent might be doing those, and you don't need those people. So you need to understand the value in those humans and take a lot of data from a lot of different perspectives, crunch them using some AI, and then explain why everyone is so important with you. Because maybe this is a story for when we're talking about the future of AI, okay? But people are feeling miserable at work now, and this entire, scare of will AI take my job? This doesn't help at all. If we don't let people understand that AI is a tool to help you work and make you a bit happier at work, we're not gonna use it to replace you. We're gonna use it to understand you and make you feel not miserable. That's the direction I'm going in. We don't know how to. We are not currently using AI per se for performance management. At Mirro, we're using AI to translate large amounts of user inputted data, like feedback, peer-to-peer feedback, translate it into, let's say, identify some trouble areas. If things like sarcasm or passive aggressiveness are used, we might use it to highlight a few pain points. But we need to crunch a lot of data, and I think, and this is for Agu to explain, people will need a lot of reskilling and upskilling in the future, right, to understand all of these. I don't think people are data driven or data aware, and that's a big part of AI. We can't talk about it as magic, as heroes of might and magic. I'm old, I know. Without understanding that it's about data. You can't separate the two. Otherwise, you're gonna be writing pretty emails that look similar to one another.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And yeah, let's continue with Agu. So the next step is on how we can give our employees an opportunity to strive for greatness and get upskilled with the help of AI, and your insights on the learning development side.
Okay, I would like to start from the bigger picture. I read recent study where CEOs were asked how important is AI and how much they are investing. So more than 90% said that this is top priority, and we put our lot of investment there. But then when it was asked how much you get actual revenue increase from AI, so only 7% said that they are generating some kind of additional revenue from that. So we are just scratching the surface at the moment. But I pretty much agree with Bogdan that we are that this is big. The AI is big. It is as big as any previous industrial revolution or innovation wave. We started with water power, when we went to steam power, we went to electricity, we went to electronics, we went to internet. I'm old enough to remember the dot-com boom. so when it first it came big, internet came big, but then boom, it exploded, and nobody understand what's the problem. But now the internet is strong, and it's a backbone of everything we have.
Our sense right now.
Yeah, and the same happens to AI. We really are scratching the surface now, and in terms of learning and development, it's also just first attempts, first things we do. What we can see that we are utilizing the AI for productivity in our organization. You can do coding. We do coding with help of AI. We do learning materials production with help of AI. We do even some legal stuff with help of AI. You can do it, and I can firmly say that you can achieve 10-20% of productivity increase just using those tools and improving your work workflow. But it's still in the beginning. For example, it doesn't work for everything. We recently produced cyber hygiene course and found out that the voiceover done for Estonian, Latvian, and Lithuanian with AI doesn't work yet.
Can't imagine.
But the voiceover made in English, that was okay. So we are on the way, on the right direction. Problem with small languages yet. So, but for a start, the productivity increase is there when you know how to use the tools, and with training and development, content production is the first thing to do. Translation, at least in written words, translation is okay even for small languages, almost okay. So we are starting on a starting line.
It's the baby's only started to his first crawls, if you may say so. But what I've heard that from all of you guys is that, as I usually say also to our clients, is that for now, and I think in the near future, AI is only a tool. Or analogy, a medicine. It can help you to automate, get quicker, faster, more productive in some areas of the HR. And from my experience, I can tell a little bit about the recruitment part, is that AI is actually being used a lot of in recruitment, but also for the sake of time, to analyze more quicker CVs, to understand more quicker, does the candidate or is a great fit for the vacancy that is there, or to help to generate as fast as possibly a new vacancy in the portals, or automate processes. So I think that the current landscape is that AI in HR mostly helps with automizing, and then I think giving us a productivity and data, right? Are there any remarks or follow-ups to this statement from me?
I'd say you are underestimating it, Nauris. Because what I would say, and I completely agree, that productivity is there, but that's not a kind of leapfrog. It's just as Agu said, we are scratching the surface. But what's under the surface, that's the impact of that we can't actually grasp at the moment. And what I mean by that right now we are looking at pure digital transformation, not digitalization. So it means that we are not taking the same concept and just transferring it into the digital world, like document into PDF, and now we're signing like PDF documents, right? But like completely eliminating parts of the story, kind of rebuilding them, rethinking, and it will kind of touch every single aspect of every single organization. And the ones that AI won't kill your job, people knowing how to use AI will kill your job. That's for sure. That's kind of my take on that.
That's what I'm trying to say, that AI is a tool, and if you know how to be good with a tool, you can do great things. And yep, so okay, I want to remind to those people 30-ish that are watching us online, don't be afraid, leave your comments, engage with us over here in this discussion. So our next topic to go through, of course, is challenges. We face challenges on a daily basis, but Bogdan, the question is to you. What are the highest and biggest hurdles organizations face when trying to adopt AI in HR systems or HR?
As of today, because tomorrow I don't know, I'm totally on board with this. Yeah, we're scratching the surface and we are imagining challenges because we don't yet know how to always access that part of the brain that uses AI. Okay, it's a different type of thinking. A couple of days ago, small parenthesis, I was thinking about a new feature in Mirro, and I was like, why don't we make a happy path on it? For instance, do that, and then try to replicate and enhance it instead of doing the entire database as such, to having a lot of user input, to explaining it to the team. It's a different way of thinking, okay? And that's one blocker for now. We're not yet used to thinking like that. It's we need to access that part of our brain that allows us to be brave. And I don't think we're really in tune with our brave side. And that, I'm sorry for the ones watching, the ones of you just meeting me now, I tend to be a bit weird in this type of discussions. HR are not the bravest of professionals. Okay, sorry to tell you that up front. Maybe it's a bit too much, but you know, I'm working in an HR tool that started out in 2019, and if I look feature by feature, if I compare it and benchmark it in an Excel, as you do, because I've learned that from you, I didn't have that skill as a child. We're talking about the same functions as, you know, tools from the 70s, give or take. We just put them in the cloud and they're nicer for the users and stuff like that. We haven't thought big yet. And this created another problem. The market isn't moving fast enough. I mean, I can't be in the same competition with a tool that started out in 2001, for instance, me starting out in 2019. It's 18 years of difference. And it seems like there's this space on the market in which everyone says it's okay to have 6 months of sales cycle for trying a new product or changing a new process in your company. And I think that has to change. You need to be early adopters in order not to fall behind, okay? This, I've exaggerated beforehand, this type of anxiety to falling behind in AI. It's gonna be enough time for everyone, but you just need to think a bit differently. You need to think a bit more actionably and experiment with things, because there's actually in our lives, there are not gonna be as many decisions that can't be unwound. Okay, we're onboarding a new platform with the help of AI. It's gonna be instantaneously, and I'm talking about the next year, not in the near future or something like that. Next year, I think the best of the platforms can be onboarded in one day without a lot of effort from you guys. Okay, and very smoothly. So feel free to try out new things and experiment. You just decide what you want to achieve. How you're going to achieve that is going to be a lot of ways to do that, and maybe try. I'm challenging, the buying type of process that HRs have. You will need to experiment with more things and figure out, with the help of AI, if they're effective or not. Okay, but don't stand still and don't wait 5 years on falling in love with the process or something like that.
So don't be afraid. Jean, maybe some remarks from your part, or also comments on how the compliance and legal frameworks around AI impact its
Yeah,
implementation.
I think, of course, don't be afraid, but I know why you are afraid. So, I mean, if you look in AI and adoption, the number one hurdle, especially in the EU, is, of course, regulations, right?
Yeah.
So now we have AI Act, we'll have a lot of other things. Every single usage of AI affects the GDPR, DORA, NIS requirements, all these regulations that Europe is spitting out on the pace that you can't even kind of read it. So that's the huge challenge for the whole AI adoption. And also people are like ringing alarm bells saying like, guys, we in Europe will be lagged behind because of that, because we can't play around. What Bogdan is offering can completely for that. But many big organizations, the organizations that we work with like 1,000 employees, they can't just like throw like some AI on their employees and see what sticks, right? Because the problem is in kind of what kind of data do we share. And then we get to my first thing in the first batch that I was talking about, transparency. They don't know how it works. They do not have, again, skills and brains inside the company that can dig through some kind of technical solutions and see, okay, this one is actually compliant. We can use it. That's how it works. That's how the model is trained, etc. And the next thing that people do not realize, I believe at the moment, is what the difference between, everyone talks about AI, LLM, right? And the AI agent. Those are two different worlds, like completely different worlds. And we talk that AI can help us to do a lot of things. AI agents can help us to deliver results on those things, actually to do things. AI help you doing things, AI agent will do things for you. And that's basically a completely different story behind that. And then we face another huge challenge that we are kind of trying to wrap our heads around that, because we are actively using AI for our customers. They kind of run through AI contracts and business sensitive data. We understand how kind of build this transparency and privacy according to regulations. But the problem persists with accountability. Imagine the situation when you have a contract that's kind of AI generated for you, and you as a, for example, lawyer or as a HR person sent for signing, and you screwed up. You have some clause and your company now kind of liable for some damages, or you broke some kind of regulation. Who is responsible for that? Is it the person who generated the contract, or is it the model behind the contract? Of course, the model won't take any responsibility for that. Or is it someone who wrote the reasoning framework around the model, how the model makes decisions, right? And how open, because the problem with the model that you can actually right now, there are so many frameworks, you can write those AI agents perfectly. They understand and think like humans. But the problem is how open you can be in terms of sharing your reasoning framework. If you're open, then you lose your IP. Maybe you build something unique for your company and you have to share it with the world, because if you're not sharing it, you're not compliant with the AI Act. So I put this challenge, besides everything what has been said, under the level of lack of transparency that we discussed. Regulations are crazy, but we need to get there. And regulation through AI can help. AI can help you to actually get to the regulation. I do not want to go deeper into this kind of stuff, but that's what we do. Kind of help AI, engage AI to actually help you to get compliant with regulation. And accountability, that's, I believe, unsolvable to some extent. Who is accountable for what AI does? It's still to be determined by kind of some regulation that EU probably will be the first to come up with.
Actually, yeah, that was kind of my next question, as we know that EU likes regulations, and AI is the one that is coming up. It is already published, but I don't know, is there as future of HR attendees are all across the world, starting from Malaysia to Mexico, Brazil, US, and etc. Is there any other part of the world, Jean, that has like this kind of a regulation for AI, or is it
Of
just
course.
you?
Of course, I don't remember exact for US. There is some regulation for US. Of course, it's not that deep as Europe. We now talk to like very, very big Japanese companies, and they are coming up with some ideas on top of that. But they all going more like, okay, let's amend existing regulation with some AI clauses, not build a completely new AI regulation. And I kind of like the idea of building this AI regulation based on ethical AI and all of that stuff. But at least for me, it never worked. Anyway, GDPR, we all know it's for years there, and there are fines and there are companies. But kind of take any company and be honest with yourself. None of them are compliant. It's like it's almost impossible to be compliant with GDPR because there are so many moving pieces, and you need to hire like 3 people to get there. Like only for this specific regulation to understand not to be kind of liable for this kind of stuff. So I'd say every single region will come up with something, but how they come up, it's a question of basically probably culture.
Bureaucracy. I think bureaucracy and the political will. But okay, let's jump. We have one question from the audience, but quickly, I'll jump to Agu and your perspective on how can organizations address concerns about bias and fairness in the AI-driven training systems.
Okay, let me start again from previous talk. I think it's nice saying that when in the world when US is doing the innovation, China is doing the copying, and the EU does the regulations. So that's that's how the world works. So yeah, the regulation is big challenge because. Just to add that this EU Act allows fines up to 35 million euros per breach, which is it is more than GDPR regulations. So that is a challenge, and there are of course reasonable concerns about AI and risks you have to follow, but. In terms of now getting closer to learning and development, what is also challenge now is aging population. We are getting older, especially in Europe, and also low birth rates. We are not making enough babies here in Europe, so that is a problem. And that is challenge. And unless we open Europe to population from Africa, we have to deal with that challenge. There is another thing what is affecting us and especially learning is the fast pace of changes in technology. Well, when we invented water power, it took us 60 years until we invented the next big thing. But now we haven't given such big time. So I think it's a question of next 10 years what AI will change everything here around us. So everything is changing so fast. We are getting older. We are not making enough babies. So, and that results also that lifetimes of companies are getting shorter and shorter. Companies are dying also. Companies are dying faster. People are not are still living. So that is the challenge for learning and development. So we have to get by with the same people with much faster changing environment. So that means that we need to learn and relearn and reskill and upskill all the time in order to be competitive, in order not to die with our companies. So that is a challenge. And if to mention some other thing on higher level also is that we are talking about AI, but we should think about AGI or ASI. Those mean respectively AGI is artificial general intelligence, and ASI is artificial superintelligence. So AGI is achieved when level of AI is getting on the same of the best of people. So the same level. And superintelligent is when AI is getting more intelligence than people. And that's a bit scary part of that, because we all know what has happened to our animals and plants, where people started to go through those industrial revolutions. So species are going away, and there is not enough room for plants. So what happens if AI, artificial superintelligence, takes over?
Hopefully not the Terminator scenario you mentioned.
Hopefully not, but we definitely need to be careful of that and see how to do and how to manage this new unknown technology, unknown territory. So the core issue here is the knowledge and communication and transparency also, what was mentioned here. So and human oversight. We need to see what's going on, kind of have an eye what's going on in that black box, if that's possible. So those are the concerns, but definitely the conclusion is that we need learning more than ever, more often than ever. Even if we are getting older, we need to learn more than ever before.
And I mean, technology today provides really great ways on how to do and achieve that. And a few remarks from my side, of course, that the challenges of that you mentioned are really, we can see it on different levels in the organizations globally, especially the aging, the more generations coming into workforce, and then also the multiculturalism. But I think that one thing that you mentioned is also that engagement and other stuff is more of a concentrating on the experience of employee experience, which actually is our next topic on how I can cultivate HR in the field of HR and employee experience. But before we get to that, we have a question from Ilse. And Ilse is questioning, could AI require changes to existing regulations? For example, regarding data protection, when the concepts of how data can be used might change. So could some of you guys want to take this question?
Of course.
Really? Awesome, John.
Yeah, I believe, hi Ilse, nice to see you here. And of course, I think it's one of the approaches that Europe is not using quite often, is not to build a whole new regulation for a new tool, but try to actually amend existing regulation to fit the best way into the tool, etc. And of course, it will change the way how the data might be used, but I think the basics will remain the same. So all the challenges will remain the same in terms of like personal data and what's not. And I believe we will face the idea that we need somehow to start actually, again, as I'm always saying, to start with the data first. So every single organization will need to have a complete understanding of data warehouse they have, how they keep it, how they process this data, and it can be siloed. So it should be like every single document, for example, that lands in your company lands in one big system that processes it, extract the data that you need to keep for your business purposes, structure this data and keep it somewhere, and then you kind of can show what exactly do you keep and who has access to this data. But it's impossible when you have this siloed, like 150 different solutions with the same data all over them at the end of the day. You need to have some kind of basic around that. And not every organization is ready for that. So I'd say kind of it anyway will come from organization, not from regulation, that like everyone will become compliant somehow by default. It will never happen. But our legislators they have to do much better job than just issuing those acts as fast as they can, and then everybody just getting 35 million fines because they just sent a name of someone not to the cloud they are allowed to send. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you guys have any remarks to this, Bogdan, Agu, or you can continue? Or
Yeah, I'm totally with Jean here. I mean, regulators seem to just be doing the job just for the sake of be doing their job, and they're not asking why are we so displeased about moving the data from one data center to another, and they just put it on the let's protect the employees, let's protect the humans from having their data accessed, regardless of there's just black and white. There's no gray areas. But at the end of the day, because the next question was about the employee experience, right? You wanted to ask. We have a lot of challenges in benchmarking against the other companies. And we're just going to end up benchmarking internally in our company because we can't legally move the data and find out if I show you mine, you're going to show me yours. And I'm talking about performance analytics, how people perceive your values, the trust in your company, engagement things. It's just, contextual data. It's not personal data. It's not dangerous to the employees. We're just afraid of moving any data because of the big fines. Indeed.
Maybe one quick comment here. The last few days, big news is the Chinese DeepSeek AI coming to play. Have you heard about that?
yeah, of course. I've seen a lot of screenshots on the censorship side of yada yada, but yeah.
Yeah. So with using those AI tools. You don't know where your information ends up. Is it San Francisco or Huangshu? So that is really the question, and that's why I very much agree of this data warehouse need and control of your data. That is the essence of making it secure, and it is the essence also to actually train AI safely, because in order to get to the next stage of using AI, we need to start training AI with our own data. Because we cannot expect like training AI with pictures of cats and then asking it to draw kangaroo. So if you want AI to do something with something more meaningful in our organization, we need to find ways to train it on our own data.
Actually, now I have an urge to feed one of my ChatGPT's channels with cat pictures and then ask him to draw a kangaroo. Thank you for the 15-minute task we'll have after our discussion. But thank you on your insights. And actually, then thank you also for the question. We have another one question, but we'll go through it through at the end of our next segment that I want to talk with you guys. Quite some time before COVID, one of the most buzzwords were employee engagement, right? But today's it's actually employee experience. Why? Because it goes through the candidate experience, through onboarding process, actually the full life cycle of the employee in the organization. And I, as a futurist, as an HR tech enthusiast, know that technology and the iPhones that we have from year 2007 has the opportunity to give us more automated, more better done interactive experience of employee, right? And then regarding the next step, I think it's the fifth revolution, right? The internet was fourth industrial revolution. I think AI is like the fifth industrial revolution. And then Agu. So how do you think how AI will contribute to creating personalized learning paths and professional development for the employees?
Yeah, maybe starting from bigger picture first and then going to learning. I think the first thing AI has contributed in terms of employee experience is fear, because most of people they don't know exactly what the AI does or how to work with it, and they are afraid that AI will come after their jobs, and they don't know what to do. So first thing to improve employee experience is to communicate, to perform some change management or good leadership in order to guide people to better understanding what AI can do for them, not against them. So in order to improve employee experience, you need to see that people are not afraid and they know how to handle it. But when talking about personalized learning paths and in professional development, that is definitely one thing AI can do and starts to do, because with AI it's much easier to analyze skills and skill gaps and draw then personalized learning experiences for people. So that is coming, and that is a big benefit of AI. And you can even take step further. You can analyze not only skills, you can analyze performance and personal goals, and have this all input when designing learning path. So that is good. And even going even further, what you can do, and with what we are testing at the moment, is that also designing kind of after learning experiences, because it's not enough to remember things or perform tests, but you have to apply the knowledge, and you have to maybe in the beginning to fail and then get feedback and then try again, and then finally at some time after some period of time you're able to perform better than before. So and then you can measure it. So you can actually use AI for this after learning event processes also. Like we have an experiments here in Estonia at the moment, while analyzing coaching sessions from recordings, and then drawing conclusions from there using AI. So this is already possible, and there are some good initial results on that. So if you put this all together, you have maybe possibilities to increase productivity, not 10-20%, but 100% or 200%.
Wow. Okay, so the percentages just a little bit lost. Jean, next question is for you, regarding also AI can help us, as you heard, to create these learning paths and help to develop our employees, but actually a huge part of also like the learning management platforms is onboarding and help to like automate and make a greater and more better, like this onboarding process. But regarding the AI and its contribution yeah, ensuring legal compliance, what are your insights on the possibilities right now?
I think it's a great, and let me paint you a picture. I'll talk about like our vision of Avokaado, that people shouldn't do the work that machine can do, right? And it all starts, and it affects employee experience in this specific case massively. And what I mean by that, imagine right now the employment agreement is a very imbalanced or asymmetrical relationship, right? Because you as an employee, you do not control the contents of agreement. Of your you do not control pretty much anything. Do you have everything covered there? What happens in this case, in that case? You have no idea if this agreement is compliant with some kind of regulations of like Europe or your country specifically. So you have no this knowledge, none of it. And of course, you can have a very good friends of yours that have some legal background, and they can read through the agreement, say to you, actually this can be here because it's kind of, you can't do that because of this regulation that we have. You should remove that. But average employee doesn't have this kind of knowledge. And to rebalance the scales of relationship between the employer and employee, AI can play a crucial role here. What I mean by that, imagine you have AI agent, either yours or you bought it from someone, or the company provides the AI agent. Okay, you might think it might biased in terms of company, but imagine if it's not a perfect world, right? And what AI agent does for you, you get a job offer, and the AI agent does for you, okay, this job offer sounds nice, but you received yesterday like 3 more job offers, and these are the things that kind of were there much better. And then you receive an agreement, right? A draft on your agreement. And then you do not need to read through agreement. AI agent knows what exactly should be there, what are the things that are not compliant, for example, etc. But that's just a part of experience. The most interesting part, when you actually treat every single agreement and relationship as data points, can happen throughout your journey within the company. Meaning, can I take a parental leave? Can I take a day of absence? How do I do that? How do I request this and that, vacation form, travel expenses? So there are so many things that you do that you need to think about, but you shouldn't. No one should. It's AI's job just to say, okay, under this agreement and our legislation in like Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, or whatever we are, you can take parental leave by submitting the form to 10 days prior. Do you want me to submit the form for you? Yes, please, here's the button. And you're done. That's employee experience. And I completely agree with Bogdan that said like these kind of things will come next year. It's not around the corner. It's just like it's literally there in front of you. It will happen. Either you are in or you are out. But the best employees, they will be won by this kind of experiences or when we talk about these touch points. So that's my story behind that. That's super important that we are changing completely the way people experience their job by just supporting them, not from the company, from every single angle. Yeah, you need kids to kind of get discounts for this kind of stuff. Yeah, here's the form, just fill it in. I'll send it to some governmental authority or municipality, and you'll get this benefit from next day. This is the future.
Most definitely, I think AI is like the key future tool of automation processes. But there's other processes in the company that's a little bit different and maybe harder to understand, and those are emotions and engagement. And Bogdan, how does AI enable organizations to better understand and enhance employee engagement?
Well, I don't know exactly, but what I do know is that we're doing a pretty bad job at it as it stands. Okay. Do you have this feeling that this year is gonna be hard again? It's like the ongoing feeling for the past 5 years, and this is backed up by data, by let's say yet humanly collected and crunched data from Gallup. I'm sure they use some AI to have this data. But what struck me is that I'm considering myself a little part of the HR world, okay? And we're doing a pretty bad job because after the great resignation, the quiet quitting, the whatever, now we have another thing that's getting engagement even lower. and it's called the Great Detachment. Okay, people can't afford to quit their jobs because they don't find another very sexy opportunity. They don't afford to be quiet quitting because otherwise the companies can't afford to, overstaff themselves and will fire them. So people just work with remorse, okay? Because they're anxious about losing their jobs. The robots are coming and we're gonna use their jobs. And I like Jean's opinion here, okay? No, some guy who knows how to use AI is gonna take your job, not his AI or something like that. But in terms of, engagement is at an all-time low. People feel miserable in their companies. That's a fact for now, okay? And when I talk to decision makers from this grand, let's say, sphere of HR, they're still in the let's save some couple of hours of work, let's automate that flow or not. They're into very, task oriented things. My call here would be, if we're talking about experience, which is what people can feel, like real people, desks, computers, what people can, experience in terms of your culture, and what's the technology enabling that. That are the three parts of the employee experience, so to speak. You need to treat people like you were the marketing department, not the HR, not the legal department, not finance. You are the marketing department. You have a lot of data about each one's preferences, desires for the future, and current engagement and what impacts it. And you need to target them specifically, not one size fits all. That, I think, is something that AI can do and is currently in some way forms doing for the employee experience, crunching a lot of data, giving you clear paths ahead. This one is unhappy. Let's see why. Paid worse than the average, not recognized, has healthy relationships at work, and is in a burnout. Go figure. I mean, all of the data you have, you can use some beautiful AI to show you where the problem might come from and actually talk to that human being, because we're not doing that. That's the result. Yeah, the not so great detachment. Sorry. But we're in a bad place right now, and I think we should start with a lot of data, understand that data with the help of AI, and target the specific people. Actually give a damn.
Actually, regarding all of the above that you said, is that I know that the future holds more of a strategic and employee-centered well-being. It means that employee as individual is in the center and on his perspective on the experience. But of course, your mentioned analysis of how AI can help us interpret the data and especially the emotions. But hey, you need to talk to your colleague.
Yeah.
As a manager. There's 100% you need to communicate and talk to them. Before we get to our last segment, actually, it goes kind of a hand in hand. We have one question. The last segment for our talks is about the future and AI and HR. And we have a question remark from Mohammed. And how will the software testing field need to adapt to address AI-related changes? Will AI be used to test AI systems, and to what extent? So this is actually a great question about the future, because I actually know in my experience a company some year ago or tested a not employee but candidate assessment tool, which was AI based, also an applicant tracking system which was AI based, which generated the vacancy. And the result was that the vacancy was posted by AI. The candidate applied to this vacancy by using a ChatGPT generated CV and motivation letter, and the system that assessed the candidate also was based in AI. So what the hell did actually got what we got? So yeah, Agu, maybe your insights on the question from
regarding testing AI generated things with AI. I think we should have still human oversight on the matters. We ourselves also we use a lot of AI when coding, and and producing new product, but testing is done by human. So to have some human oversight.
Bogdan, what's your insight?
Well, I think testing has already changed, hopefully. I mean, I don't think people need to test a task. And if it's done like correctly, you push the button, the action happens. You push the button 4 times, the action doesn't happen 4 times because it's too much. Uh, I would focus not on functionality testing, but on the reason why a functionality is there and question it before it appears. Because it appearing and it being tested, that can be automated. The reasoning behind what you're currently testing, I do hope that you guys are thinking into the same direction as of now and as of some time ago to actually understand why you're building what you're building. Because, well, I'm an engineer as well, and we tend to love to build, but we tend to forget to ask why should they need it and why should they care about it. A more, let's say, user experience oriented acumen in this regard of more asking why until someone cries, basically.
Okay. Jean?
Playbooks. People will make a shitload of money on playbooks, and by playbooks I mean like literally, like there are prompting specialists right now that can actually tell you how to better prompt. And by playbooks I mean if you have some ethical requirements or diversity requirements or whatever requirements you have when you, for example, analyze your candidates, right? To test if these requirements work, you will need some kind of playbook to drive through the model and see if it actually returns some unbiased things before you actually start processing data. And this part about building playbooks, designing some kind of prompting techniques around that, and reasoning frameworks, that is the most important part of AI. Model is there. It's trained, pre-trained. It will keep improving. It will keep getting smarter, faster, and cheaper. But the reasoning framework, this orchestration layer, I believe that's the key here.
Okay. Well, guys, so the last segment, I prepared some individual questions for you guys, but let's improvise on this one. And when we speak about the future, okay, we can tell about like 5 years, 10 years, or maybe 100 years from now, but let's be reasonable and let's jump to you, Bogdan. What are your insights on the development of artificial intelligence in the nearest like 10 to 15 years and how it can help in HR?
Oh, 15 years, some artificial super intelligence is gonna laugh out of our talk. You know, they're gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna seem like child play. I'm kidding. Jokes aside, right? We established that we are miserable at work. We don't make babies anyway, because we're miserable at work and we are anxious about the future. And most of us are getting old, and it seems grim enough. But it's what you choose to take out of the future, okay? Because at some point you can imagine that we can choose to be afraid of it and just go into the woods, or we can choose to kind of use this type of technology into our advantage and actually invest in what makes us unique and authentic. Because imagine that each individual has, let's say, a small group of AI agents doing some of the work, and they need to market this small company that each individual is, okay? And where does HR stand into this? Well, it's, let's say, a more B2C type of orientation, or even more like a investors board type of orientation. You need to see the value in what that human being does uniquely, because what they do repeatedly will be done by AI agents for them. But so you need to have a greater, broader vision as an HR. I have this human being which will be very good at prompting things, at orchestrating things. You need to understand their specific value and just trust that the work is gonna get done. We need to shift that mindset, that we need to kind of value people based on the amount of tasks they can do, rather than the value that their unique way of thinking or reasoning brings to the table. Okay, that's what I want the robots to laugh about when they're listening to this speech in a couple of years.
A couple of years. Agu, what's your perspective on how AI and learning development management part can improve in the next upcoming years?
Yes, I think first of all that we are, as said, we are on a start of in the start of the journey. We are currently just getting some assistance from AI and maybe already some automation, but we are improving work of individual persons most of the time. But what happens in the future? I think we are starting to re-engineer how we work as organizations. So and how we learn as organizations. Then the key word here is the AI agents, who are not only assistants, not automation, but they are capable of autonomous decisions, guiding the processes on behalf of us and maybe over structural silos. So to optimize those processes, and the role of people is to manage those AI agents. So that means that we do need to completely relearn how we build our organization and how we work in those organizations, which means that that learning is central part in our organizations. So it's continuous learning, it's continuous upskilling. Learning is part of our job, because otherwise the world is moving too fast for us.
Sometimes really, really fast. Jean, what's your thoughts on the future of HR and AI and how it will redefine HR processes?
I think definitely we are looking at the story that AI agents, they will change many job functions and many organizations forever and irreversibly, and especially when we talk about chaining them together. What I mean by that, one agent can talk to another agent can talk to another agent, and that's you're building a network of agents that can actually do a very complex things on behalf of a human being or several human beings, right? And the idea behind and the future, I believe, lies exactly in how exposed every single organization will get to AI. And by exposure, I mean, you know that you want online customers, you need to build a website, right? Like 20 years ago. Then you need to invest in content creation. Then you needed to invest in some social media stuff. So now, even now, already you have to have a plan as an organization, how we expose ourselves, our services, our APIs, our people, like our partners, everyone else to AI. What are the limitations and how we will and that's who will win the race. The more exposed company will win the race in this case, in every single vertical, and it doesn't matter. The more you expose, the more traffic you will get, the more leads you will get, the better employees you will get, the better ratings you will get when someone searches, because search is going from Google, search is going to Perplexity, to ChatGPT, to Claude, to everyone else. Search is going there. So how good is your organization that can it be searched using AI? If it's not there, forget about that. And it's not only for HR, right? It's for every single function. So this exposure thing on all the levels inside the organization, I believe is the key. You need to have a plan how gradually and safely and with all the privacy and everything else in mind, expose your organization to AI. Because AI will be there and will do so many things and so many great things that in a year from now, trust me, someone will come. Do you have your AI agent to do this? We can send to your AI agent these things, and your agent should you don't have. Oh, okay, sorry. Then we will find someone else to do that for us. So that's the reality that we live in. Fortunately, unfortunately, we'll see. Just to finish, I love the word, the movie. because everyone talks about Terminator, right? The Doomsday and the Matrix or whatever. I really love the film with Johnny Depp called Transcendence. It's from 2014, so it's kind of already 10 plus years. But I think it's amazingly shows what's possible there in a good way. So it's very controversial. So, but I definitely suggest you guys take a look. I think we're close to what's happening there.
It's been a while since I've seen this movie. Thanks for a reminder for my next evening by the TV screen. Hey guys, it was an absolute pleasure to talk with you guys and hear your insights on how the AI is reshaping our world right about today and actually on the future, and what I think in the future, what can AI help, and my vision is kind of that we have like this one official AI assistant that helps me as an employee to go through all of the questions that I have. It's just a chat, how I can chat with you guys, but with a AI assistant. And hey, what's are my courses? When are my meetings? And it just gives me the information already. But we'll see. We'll see how the world will shape in the upcoming years. So, nevertheless, thank you, all of you, for the time. We'll see with you on the March of 12th to 14th, right? And I really love the set of discussion. Maybe some last remarks from you guys, some last words. 30 seconds from me to each out one of you. Bogdan.
Oh, well,
I
thanks for having me.
Nice.
See you at the big conference between 12th and 14th of March, not February. So hope to see you soon. Thanks for having the talk. It's sorry, I got lost in a lot of ideas because I like what we shared today here. And what I do like very much is that if you educate yourself, you can come up with very opinions very close to who you are and your direction of acting nowadays. So thank you for being here, Jean, and Nauris, of course, and Agu. It seems like our views coincide in some ways, but they are from different backgrounds, and I love discovering this. I love to see that more people are into sharing what they have discovered and what they think the future would be. I don't think we have enough talks like this along the way, though. But looking forward for the next.
Awesome. I'll go.
Yeah, thank you for the possibility to be here. To sum up, I think that the most important takeaway for HR, for employees, for everyone is that there is much more learning needed to be done, and you need to learn about AI, of course, to get acquainted, because the next big technology already is knocking on the door, and the name is quantum computing. So yeah, get on the train with AI, and then you can take next challenges.
Ooh, yeah, you mentioned quantum computing. Well, the future is going to be interesting. Jean, your last remarks.
Of course. Thank you, Nauris, for inviting. Thank you, guys, my co-panelist Bogdan, Agu. Thanks everyone for watching. I definitely encourage you to do your research, but also to connect with me on LinkedIn. If you have any questions regarding the AI and HR or automation, I'll be happy to help you. So just click a button, connect, don't be shy. And yeah, talk to you and see you in March, hopefully, not face-to-face, but hopefully you will be part of the Future for HR event as well. Thank you very much.
Super. Thank you. Okay, thank you guys. Have a wonderful, productive week. See you on our Future of HR conference. And wow. So this was actually, I think, a really interesting, engaging, and fantastic discussion. I think we can all agree that AI and HR isn't just the future; it's already here. So the reshaping way we hire, train, engage, and manage talent. And as we hear today, while AI brings incredible opportunities, it also comes with its challenges. So biases, compliance, employee trust, maybe also because of the data, where it flows with different AIs. But the key is, I think, finding the right balance between the tech and the human touch in the future. So once again, huge thanks for our amazing panelists: Jean Mauris from Avokaado, Bogdan Ionita from Mirro, and Agu Remmelg from Coursy. And of course, thank you all of you that joined today. And Mohammed and Dilza, thanks for the questions, insights, and engagements. Feel free to contact everyone on LinkedIn from today's panel discussion. And it's just the beginning, guys. It's just the beginning. Don't forget that we have the Future of HR conference, and this was just a sneak peek before the Future of HR and Management 2025 coming up already on the 12th to 14th March. Buy your tickets, and we see the full insights on today's challenges and what the future of management and human resources holds. So with that, I'll wrap things up and say thank you once again to you guys, and see you on other Future of HR events and in the Future of HR conference.